getting a win like this, you guys were able to do it through the ground. We need to see what Miles was able to do tonight. I mean, kind of what's your thoughts just when you watch him and look and you think about how good he was?
Yeah, I think it started with the O-line. I mean, you see he's making most of his moves on DBs and safeties and corners, and so you know, anytime those guys have to come up with tackle, you know, the O-line's doing a good job. So I thought they dominated up front, and that's why I was able to do what he did.
And when you think about this game as a whole, I mean, it's something that you guys have been able to now win 5 in a row. I mean, what does it mean for this program to kind of get that sort of continuity and be able to kind of impress dominance upon an in-state rival?
I think, you know, everybody's played some type of rivalry game or had some type of rivalry, and it's always good to beat them and not have to hear about, you know, Wazoo this, Wazoo that for a whole year. So everything's right in the world.
Jake, you see your defense a lot in practice, fall camp, and all that stuff. Luke Falk has had trouble with them every year. Sometimes what in particular about what they do causes so many problems for
yeah, I mean, I think it just starts up front. Being able to get pressure with 3 is always nice, and you know, he'll stand in there for a while until, you know, they just keep battling, and you know, on the second end, just, you know, being able to make plays on the ball. You know, you'd have to ask the DBs a little bit more, but you know, I think they play us a little different than they play Wazoo, just different offenses. But yeah, I mean, they showed us to play every Apple Cup.
Where you guys were a couple weeks ago, the injuries that have piled up in the second half of this season, the loss to Stanford, so many people were questioning you guys there, the team suspension, just felt like everything was kind of piling up on you guys to finish the way you guys have these last 2 games. How good does it feel? How much does it say about you guys?
I mean, everybody can question us all they want, but I mean, we're not reading that, and we're just getting back to, you know, there's people that have to do it, and there's people that talk about who does it, and so, you know, which one are you going to be? You gotta, poor me, feel bad for myself because, you know, we had a bunch of receivers or whatever go down, or are we going to find a way to get this done? And found a way to get it done.
Your line was really pushing guys around today. Miles had a huge game, but they also pushed some guys that enabled you to get a couple of first downs on quarterback sneaks.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Were those check downs or were those called?
Those were called. You know, they move around a lot up front, and they've been able to create some chaos, but they're kind of light, so, you know, you can move all around all you want, but you freaking go downhill and get physical.
Wazoo's resume over the past 3 years has been pretty good coming to the game against you guys, but you're not just winning, you're blowing them out. What do you think it is about this game?
I think it was make it physical. They want to spread you out on offense, and then they want to move around, do all this different stuff on defense. Just, you know, you can run around all you want, but sooner or later you're going to have to go head-to-head, and that's what we're trying to make them do, and you know, our O-line dominated.
The game was pretty much in hand, but how much did the game change when Mataafa got thrown out? And
none.
How about the hit?
Yeah, I mean, it was targeting, but I'm fine. I feel great. We won.
Andre came up big, especially when Dante was down.
Yeah.
I mean, nice to have him back, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, you know, we're running the ball so well. He's getting some one-on-one coverage. He's able to win some one-on-ones, and you know, the one was, I don't know if it was a great call, but the one now route that he took to the house, it got called back. It was a pretty good run. Ty made some big-time plays. And at the end, they didn't have to throw the ball all the time. They're just running the ball down their throat, so keep doing it.
How tough was that to see Pettis go down? You're saying next man up, but a guy like that has meant so much to this program.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of feel whenever somebody goes down, but you just got to respond. And you know, we've had a lot of important people go down, and you know, a lot of receiving threats go down. People just got to step up.
How big were some of those holes? He probably had a good view. I mean, he wasn't touched.
I mean, the one on the end zone is the one that stands out the most to me because I was turning around and it's like he's got like 6 feet to just walk into the end zone. And, you know, Miles gonna get a lot of love, but I think you guys definitely started off with the O-line. But Miles gonna get a lot of love, rightfully so. He played really well. Thank you.
Sometimes you drew one guy, sometimes 2, maybe 3 or 4. You consistently got in there. What was happening between you and
I think, you know, I feel like in every pass rush you have about a split to a full second to get back there and work your move. So, you know, it's all about execution and trying to execute the game plan and your pass rush moves. So, yeah.
Part of your game is always to be physical, but against Washington State, it just seems like you guys really amp it up, and it really has an impact on the game. 4 turnovers.
You know, it was a big rivalry game. You know, they did spectacular this year. You know, we had a lot of alumni come this week and talk to us, and you know, I guess a lot of emotions came from that, and hearing them and how how far the Apple Cup has come, you know. So.
You mentioned one of the alumni that came. I heard Nate Robinson was in last night and talked to you guys. Tell us about Nate.
Nate Robinson came out, and you know he gave us a good speech, and he got us hyped up. But Lord Malloy and Michael Jackson, you know, they came up and you know they turned up the dial on us last night, and that's where we got our energy from. I feel like.
It was that sequence, I think, in the second quarter when they were backed up by the goal line, and you almost forced the fumble, and you got the sack that you and I think Greg got. It looked like you really came through there. I mean, just that sequence there. What was working right during that one?
I was honestly trying to take two guys. I was in there with one of the young guys, Jared Pulu. He just got a scholarship from being a walk-on, so you know I was trying to help him get a sack. You know, being the last game, so I was trying to take two, so he can work a one-on-one to get there in the backfield. So I was trying to get him the sack.
What's it like 3-on-5 and winning those matchups 3-on-5?
You know, you focus on one guy, and if the rest come, you just still focus on one guy.
Did you look around at all today in case this is the last? I mean, you mentioned last game of the season a couple times, but in case this is the last game at all?
You know, we still have a bowl game, so we're looking forward to that.
You mentioned that bowl game, 2 wins on the season, but yeah, looking back on this season, overall, you know, were there some shortcomings at times? How would you kind of look back on the regular season?
Say it again?
You do have a bowl game ahead of you, but looking back on the regular season with those 2 losses, but still accomplishing 10 wins, how do you kind of rate this, judge this, looking back on it?
You know, I feel like it was a fun season. You know, obviously being an older guy, and like, you know, seeing these younger guys grow throughout the year and get better, I feel like it was really fun. And seeing that happen as one of the leaders on the team, and to see not only your teammates but your brothers out there working hard, you know, just being with each other in the off season, just seeing them making plays. You know, I feel like throughout this whole off season it was really fun. You know, obviously we lost 2. They caught us slipping, but you know, we got to tip our hat off to them. You know, they obviously beat us. So, you know, enough of that. We got to enjoy the victory. We got the Apple Cup again, and bragging rights for another year.
Did Lawyer Malloy or Michael Jackson, anything those guys said to you really stand out at all? Or?
Huh?
Lawyer Malloy or Michael Jackson. You mentioned those guys. Is anything specific what any of those guys said to you that really stood out at all? Or?
Just normal locker room pregame speech. You know, getting everyone hyped up, talking about their experience in the Apple Cup and what it means to them. So you know, it carried over, and you know that's the whole thing about the rivalry. So.
You almost had an interception there too. Did you?
Yeah. that was pretty hard. Just had that one.
Sorry you've been asked this, but you know, Washington State is a good team. Look at their resume. You know, just like last year, had a chance to play for a Pac-12 title. You guys aren't just beating these guys, though. You're destroying them. What is it about this game that brings it out of you and allows you to play so well?
Like I said, I feel like it's all. Coach B brings alumni throughout the week, and you know, like he brings 2 a day, so they come out and talk to us. And the hype just builds from there throughout the week, and you know, you hear all these stories about the past and about old players and what the Apple Cup means to them, and how the Apple Cup is not just a game; it's basically a holiday in Washington. You know, it's whoever wins bragging rights throughout the week, so you know, it builds up from that.
So when you step on the field against these guys, you feel a lot different than you do against other teams.
You definitely feel the same. You know, you got to treat them the same. You still got to respect them on the field. So you know, it's all preparation throughout the week and all that.
Looked like I saw you do that, like the thing Danny Shelton did a few years ago, the little roll at one time. Have you done that before? Or?
I tried doing it, but the ref said don't do it again, or else you should penalty. So I didn't want to do it anymore.
And the play where you, on the screen pass, where you got the guy about 20 yards downfield, I'm sure you've probably done that before, but that's still a play that really stands out to people, a guy your size being able to do something like that. Do you kind of take some pride in something like that? Or?
You know, 4 to 6 A to B definitely means give your all for 4 to 6 seconds from point A to point B. You know, Coach P does a big job of telling us that. So throughout the week, it's all about practice and running to the balls.